Yeah.
Alrighty. So, as you can probably see, my name is Eliana Davis, and like the other groups that have been led in the past few weeks, I'm a student from Robert Morris University, and I'm in a master's program for counseling psychology. Right now, I am doing my internship at Brookline Teen Outreach, which is a teen outreach center that allows children to come in and hang out after school. We do a lot of fun activities with them. It's a great way to allow the kids to have some free time from the community. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about rebuilding the energy centers. And when I heard that I would have the opportunity to be here with you guys, I was really excited to be able to share some tools about coping and working through some emotions because feelings can be very challenging to navigate. No matter what the experience that you're going through may be. So, within the past decade, I've noticed that healing has really moved beyond just the body and moved to the mind and the spirit as well. So I wanted to talk about energy centers today. And since we are all unique humans, there are some tools that will work for you that may not work for others, and vice versa. So I really encourage you to take what resonates today and leave what does not. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So, you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is an energy center? Oh, actually, one second. There's the next button. You might be thinking to yourself, what is an energy center? And you might be more familiar with the term chakra, and that's actually a Sanskrit word. But Joe Dispenza, who has studied neuroscience, neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and mind body medicine, and has also become a New York Times bestseller for his books that address the intersection of those topics. He describes them as an individual center. Well, he calls them energy centers and describes them as an individual center of information that each has its own specific energy that carries a corresponding level of consciousness or its own frequency carrying a certain message. Each also has its own individual glands and its own unique hormones, chemistry, and individual plexus of neurons. So I find it helpful to kind of think of energy centers similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow was an American psychologist who wanted to understand the motivation of human behavior. So he proposed this idea that human needs can be organized in a hierarchy, starting with physiological needs such as air, food, water. And then above that, we see safety, so shelter and stability. Next is love and belonging, so the need for community and inclusion and love. Next, above that, there is self esteem. So, the need for having a good self esteem, power, control, and being recognized for all that we are. Next, at the top, there is self actualization, which is the need for self development, creativity, and growth. And like this, energy centers kind of build upon one another. We can start with the root, which focuses on family, social belonging, safety, and security, which is something that we also see in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Next is the sacral center, which focuses on creativity, sexuality, power, control, money, relationships. Next, we see the solar plexus, which addresses personality, self esteem. Again, something else that we see in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and focusing and trusting our gut instincts. Next, there is the heart center, which of course deals with love and forgiveness and compassion. Next, there is the throat center, which addresses self-expression, choice, free will, following your dreams, having faith, and really trusting life. Then there is the third eye center, which focuses on intellect, brain, open-mindedness, divine reason, focusing again on that bigger picture and trust. And then at the top, there is the crown center, which focuses on spirituality, knowing who you are, letting go, enlightenment, and awareness, which is kind of that self-actualization piece that we see. So, how does this energy get stuck? Honestly, life has so many things that come at us with the pressures and stress of everyday life. It's easy for us to experience and hold on to some of the things that we see in this diagram. Feelings of shame, control, guilt, unworthiness are extremely common in today's day and age. So, working through these feelings can allow us um, to higher levels of contentment and life satisfaction. So, let's talk about how we can start getting this energy flowing. I'm going to start with the root center. And this center blocks can be handled by addressing concerns surrounding family, security, and general safety, and building a support system, which you guys are all doing right in this very moment, which is fantastic. I also wanted to include some affirmations for these centers because affirmations can help us start to rewire our brains by replacing previous belief systems with new ones. And so, potential affirmations for this center might be: I am supported, I'm doing my best. Next, there is the sacral center. And with this one, it's important to tap into creativity, whatever that means for you. Reducing stress is extremely important. And I know that you guys have learned lots of tools on how to manage stress and address the nervous system and learn, when your nervous system is heightened and learn how to bring it back into homeostasis. It's also could be important to explore your relationship with control and identify feelings surrounding money. Um, this affirmation might be: I feel worthy, I feel empowered. Next, we have the solar plexus center. And with this, it's to remove some blocks here. It's important to address self-esteem concerns. So really finding that self-love and trusting your gut, because you know your body better than anybody else. You know yourself more than anybody else. You've got through every single hard day. And you've been there with yourself since the day that you were really born. And so it's important to also build a self-care routine, whatever that looks like for you again, because we are so individual. And that can mean something different for every single person. I know that these days when we hear the word self-care, you might think of pampering yourself or, doing a face mask or having a bubble bath, but self-care and self-love really goes beyond that. It might look like letting yourself cry for as long as you need to without feeling shame or guilt. Or it might be setting out a cute, cozy pair of pajamas for yourself to come home to at the end of a really long day. When it comes to this, I try to think about, what would I really appreciate for someone to do for me? And then you can take the steps to start working on doing those things for yourself. So, affirmations for this center might be: I do trust myself, I do love me. And saying this with conviction and really feeling those feelings within your body allow the brain to start rewiring in that way. Next, there is the heart center. And with this, it's really important to work on allowing space for forgiveness, but that can be challenging. And when it comes to forgiveness, it's not just about forgiving others, but for forgiving ourselves too. Um, So give yourself compassion, practice gratitude, consume uplifting media. Um, that might mean if you're feeling really stressed out one day, not turning on the afternoon news, or choosing to stay off your phone in the morning, whenever you're in those times of need and stress, trying to surround yourself with things that are going to allow you to let some joy and love in. Affirmations for this center might be, I love this community and I love my willpower, because you are all so very strong, and it's important to acknowledge that and really allow yourself to receive and feel the power within you. Next is the throat center. Um, And with this center, it is important to communicate your needs, be honest about what your needs are, whether that's with the people that are in your life, or your doctors. I know that we have talked, past students have talked about what it looks like to really express yourself to them, and how it can be very challenging to continue to express your needs and have those conversations about how you're doing mentally and physically. And so showing up as your authentic self, it can be really important. Just being you, allowing yourself to be vocal about the interests that you have. And next, we see upholding boundaries. So making sure that the people in your life know where they stand with you, and that you're protecting your peace, so that you can have the energy to do the things that you need to do, and do more of what brings you joy, because that is going to be an authentic expression of yourself, whether that's being creative, whether that's watching a movie, whether that's snuggling with a pet or taking care of plants. An affirmation for this might be, I speak my mind, I vocalize my needs, and I stand up for myself. Next is the third eye center. And with this one, it's important to really keep an open mind to new experiences, and work on building emotional intelligence, which can come from addressing some of the things that we previously talked about, or just allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions. And so accepting those feelings, and observing them without judgment, without feeling shame or guilt, and allowing yourself to sit with them and understand what they may be trying to teach you, and potentially let them pass if that's what serves you, or feel them as long as you need to. An affirmation for this center might be, I'm insightful, I'm intuitive. Next is the crown center. And with this one, it's really significant to trust in your higher power, whatever that might be, whether it's yourself or any of the different spiritual or religious beliefs that work for you. And again, build a relationship with yourself. Build a relationship with yourself, have that self-care routine, understand your likes and dislikes and what brings you joy and where you need to have boundaries, and release what no longer serves you, what does not have your best interest at heart, what seems to drain your cup more than fill it. An affirmation for this center might be, I'm worthy of love. So, in addition to all of the things that we just talked about, these are some other tools that can start to move stagnant energy within the energy centers. So, visualization, grounding, yoga, breath work, meditation, sound healing, and affirmations are all tools that can be used to start to realign these centers, and start moving that stagnant energy. But this process can look very different for everybody. So really feel free to play with it and make it your own, and kind of have fun and not take it too seriously when it comes to these tools, if you feel called to do so. Um, and then I would love to know, this is all I have for today. And I would love to know, what is in your toolbox? What are your thoughts? on these healing and coping techniques that address more of the spiritual and spirit side of healing.